Welcome classic car fans to our latest edition of Earl's Classic Cars, where today we're going to feature, finally at last, my son's 1986 Chevrolet Silverado. You've seen this truck in several of our past videos. Now it's finally going to be the star of the show in what we call our Save the Silverado series. We're going to start this Saving the Silverado series by taking the 10 bolt out of this truck and replacing it with a 12 bolt that my son and his friend pulled from another Chevy truck from the late 70s about 7 years ago. So without further ado, let's get started and save this Silverado. Chapter 1 of changing out the 10 bolt to the 12 bolt. Here's the 12 bolt we're going to be using. And Matt's getting busy decrudding this thing. What do you think, Matt? You have this done in like 5 minutes?
2 tops.
Oh, well, then that'd be a lot quicker than it took us to get this axle stand together.
What do you mean? That was like 30 seconds.
30 seconds? Well, I must have not been living in time lapse real life. This axle is actually in pretty good shape. Take a second and show everyone how that spins, how easy it's spinning. And we don't hear any noise at all in the housing. And both axles are spinning at the same time. So hopefully we've got a posi.
That might be a little optimistic.
Well, when you and your friend took it apart 6 years ago to look at the back, could you tell, or did you know what you were looking at back then?
All I saw was the gears were clean.
Did you see like a housing around the gears itself?
I would not have known to look for that.
Okay. Well, we're going to find out as soon as we clean this side of it. We're going to tip it over on this axle stand, or turn it over, and then we will be able to take the diff cover off and see what's hiding under door number 1. We won't bother to throw any time lapse on this. This is about only just a little less boring than watching paint dry. But we'll catch back up and give you an update once we get this part of it done. And I know everybody likes to learn. I like to learn myself, but you're not going to learn anything from us recording every second of this part. I think everyone knows how to clean up things.
1 eternity later.
After several months of delay between seeing Matt clean the axle, we are going to do a little bit more work on it today. We're going to work to get these old brakes off, disassemble that, and then we're going to start steel brushing that area and cleaning it up, and we're going to paint that, and then we're going to start reassembling the brakes on here. But the first thing we've got to do, because my curiosity is just killing me, is we're going to have to take this diff cover off, because I want to know, we know it's a 12 bolt because we can count the bolts, but I want to know if it is a posi traction or not. So here we go.
Do you have a locker?
Well, never mind. Actually, as he was spinning it, it was going the opposite direction. So we know it's not. We know it's a
it's an open diff.
Open diff, unfortunately. But we're going to put a locker in this thing, and it will become posi traction before we get it all back together. I thought before, when I was spinning it, I could have sworn it was going the same direction, but I think it's Matthew. I think he actually caused
right?
it to go in the opposite direction.
Yes, I manifested the open differential.
Yes, you did. And by the way, you got a microphone so they can hear you over there talking.
Well, that's good.
And I'm okay with that. It's part of it. But yeah, can't really see that very well. But
if they don't like it, it's not my fault.
All right, you can see how this is going to go. It's already getting started. But anyway, we're going to start disassembling the brakes. Tell us about the truck that you and Hunter went and got this out of.
It was a very beat-up 79 long bed, I think custom deluxe, that was being parted out by a bunch of guys out in Centerville that normally parted out Dodges. And this is the only Chevy they had. And it was so beat up and so rusty that this was pretty much the only good part in it. So
what about getting it out? Wasn't it down in the mud?
It was, and you know, naively, I thought we'd be able to get it out with a socket set and a jack, but it was very rusty and at such a bad angle that that was not the case. However, the guys who owned it were very nice and had an acetylene torch. And so they torched the U-bolts off of it for us, which made it a lot easier.
Didn't they have to lift it up for you too?
They might have. I seem to remember a tractor being involved somehow.
Yeah, I thought that's what you told me. I wasn't with you that day, but I thought that's what you told me.
Yeah, I mean, this was back in 2017, so it's been a while.
Well, it's aged just right. It's ready to be worked on, or we're ready to work on it.
There you go.
All right, so we're going to get a closer look here at this. All right, that's not bad looking inside of there. Not a lot of buildup or anything. A little bit of gunk there. What was the bottom?
That probably came from just putting it down in the dirt while I looked at the diff.
Yep, unfortunately, definitely an open diff. My disappointment. But the gears
I'm gonna
themselves
spin it. That's good clickbait.
does look really good though, as far as the gear itself. Clearly, even though this axle had been sitting in the mud, there's no evidence of any water in there. The pinion looks really good. I wonder how many miles this thing had on it.
I don't think it had that many. It might have been a 70, 80,000 mile truck. It was a farm truck.
Let me get a look at the gears. Hold on. Let me look at the gears here on the other side. Yeah. Oh, man, this looks really, really good. I mean, I don't see any markings. There's no broken teeth.
Yeah, it's in good shape. It's about the only thing in good shape on that truck.
Sounds really good too. We're not going to have to do anything as far as the inside of this area, so maybe clean some of the older grease out of here and stuff if we want to. But we could just slap this cover back on. But we're going to get a locker for this, because it's going to become a posi. Because we don't want the one wheel peel. We want two wheel peel.
There is no one wheel appeal.
Yeah, there's no appeal to a one wheel, right? Anyway, no, this looks really good. I'm happy to see that. This is my first look in here. I think, didn't you and Hunter take this apart when you first got in and look at it?
Well, we took it apart while it was still under the truck, which is why it's missing bolts.
Gotcha.
And
They fell in the mud, right?
Right, not the best working conditions. That's why there's little specks here on the inside of the diff cover.
Oh, okay.
You can see these aren't metal. That's wood. That's dirt. That's
lovely. Well, I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad it wasn't under the vehicle and running in terms of getting that up inside the gears. But
yeah, well,
overall, this looks really good. I am very, very happy with that.
Yeah, nothing's chewed up.
All right, well, let's put that cover back on and secure that so we can get this thing cleaned up. We're going to have to get all of our bolts in there so we don't get any water in there when we're degreasing it and stuff. But we're going to move on to the brakes next. All right, we found as we were getting into this and trying to put the diff cover back on and seal it up that the bolts that came with the parts, as I'll show you over here, are actually
different size.
too thick.
Yep.
So who would have thunk? Hopefully all these other parts fit for this 12-bolt axle. That's what I ordered. It's not a good start for us here, USA standard gear. But anyway, so we tried to get this down, and then we found out we've got actually somebody at some point had put the wrong bolt in here, and now we've got to tap this again and get the thread straightened out, and we can't find our cutting oil at the moment. So we're going to flex over here and do what we talked about anyway, and we're going to start taking these old brakes off, and we're going to time lapse this because you don't need to see it bit by bit, but it's going to be a series of taking these springs apart, getting these brake shoes off, getting the self-adjuster off, getting the old wheel cylinders off. Let's see, we're going to record this right here, see how this goes together. And the other thing that we can do is we can keep the other side assembled until we get this side reassembled, and that way we have an example.
Looks like it's set by a pool deck.
Yeah, it's a little crusty. But that must have been the part that was sitting in the ground.
Yes.
Right there,
yes,
I can imagine.
was.
All right. Well, we got one of the brake lines loose that we were struggling with. And we ran out of acetylene because we haven't used it very much. But we're going to go ahead and start taking apart these springs. In fact,
for you folks that always have to be right, it was actually butane. So
it sounds like you need to be right.
I just know they're going to come for you because the bottle's in the background.
What did I say?
You said acetylene.
Okay. Whatever. Actually, we found out it's propane. So we were both wrong. All right.
I believe this is the right side.
Yes, it is, because the vent tube is right there and it's sticking out that way. So, yep, it's definitely, that makes sense that that's the rustier part.
Did you ever figure out if the vent tube on that one was blocked?
Nope, and I figured at this point, we're going to just take it off anyway.
Yeah, and then we'll just have this one throwing fluid everywhere.
No, we're going to check that one before we get everything going. But
that's going to let go. Okay.
Okay, that's one. That loose. Thinking, yep.
Yep,
There you go.
There we go. I don't suppose we need these.
Let's hang on to them, but I hope not. I think the kit. Double check here. Actually, it's the brake kit. That's the gears.
I sure hope the last time these were done, they were done correctly.
This looks like they were redone at some point because these are not rusty at all right here.
This is a blue spring, and I don't think that would have come on it from the factory.
Okay.
That looks aftermarket. I don't think GM would have put painted springs like that.
Right here. Okay. Let's double check. Get that one right there. Watch out for this one releasing a little bit. There we go. Yeah, see that hooks down in there, so that keeps that when it releases from hitting you in the face.
Yeah, had to make a choice there, hand or face. I chose hand.
Exactly. Yeah, don't need your face for anything. I mean, you know.
No, I mean, I chose to take it in the hand.
Oh, I see. I see. Hear what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, let me try this back on here again. There are specific wrenches for this, folks. Or not wrenches, but tools.
We can't find them.
Release the springs, but didn't know where they were, and of course didn't bother to look for them before we got started. So
have fun in the comments.
Go to Harbor Freight or somewhere and get yourself some proper tools for taking these springs off. I mean, a lot of people do the same thing that we're doing, but if you want to be just a little bit safer, I would suggest you not do this.
Everyone needs an experience like this.
Right. No, they don't.
Right thing the wrong way. You know.
The right thing the wrong way.
Well, it's not my quote. I believe that's a David Freiberger quote.
Oh, the right thing. Okay, well, that makes sense. I mean, they are the godfathers of Will It Runs.
Right.
Okay, got that off. Now, some of this, definitely keep things like this because I'm not sure what all we're going to have to reuse or not. Depends on what's in the kit. Now,
I suppose with these we need to...
Okay, it looks like we still got another one right here. We got to get this off my... I'm sure people are enjoying the back of my head at this point. Let's switch seats.
Okay.
We'll cut that part out, don't worry. He says, and then leaves it in the video.
Oh, I waved at them. You can leave it in.
Oh. Okay, this one I think it might be better if I grab it.
Yeah, someone will be screaming, "No, that's not how you do
That's
that.
not how you do it." We know. Well, we don't. We know you probably shouldn't do it the way we're doing it, but we're doing it. So.
Don't worry. Somehow it'll work out.
Right.
I'm sure, to your disappointment.
It'll either work out or somebody else will be fixing this axle one day. It won't be us because we won't be.
I will have given up on it.
Or it will kill us and somebody else will have to take it.
Yeah, there's that too.
It'll be an estate
So
sale.
yeah, look at this. Look for a 12-bolt axle at an estate sale near you.
Right. With a brake line that won't come off and a half taken off brake assembly. It looks a lot like this one. You'll know it by the blue spring.
You think we could just get it
Yes.
off on the bottom here?
Probably could. Here. Let me get. Can you get the leverage down on it?
Almost. Well,
Let me try from my angle, maybe.
you've already torn your gloves, by the way.
Of course.
Classic.
Expected.
Another spider egg. C10s have a thing for attracting spider eggs.
Yes, I think it comes with the territory. That and
Red
dirt
wasps.
daubers, and dirt daubers. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Now,
What size you say that was?
maybe 3/8 or a
Oh,
quarter.
you called it.
Called it, but did it answer?
It's actually coming off. Shockingly. You'll have to thank Mr. Eddie for that.
Didn't Eddie know that we were doing a video over here? When he comes home from a vacation for over a week,
He's
and
mowing
then he has
the
to
lawn.
interrupt my video. What the heck, Eddie?
He's mowing the lawn.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable, folks. Yep, you're right. Yeah, it's just rusted on there.
You know, a hammer might be better than that.
I don't know what you're talking about. There you go. The whole thing came out. Wow. So it was all part of that. Was all part of it, and the brake line, of course, went in there too. Yay!
You know what's interesting? We shouldn't need to take a brake line off the other side.
Oh, you're right.
So we don't need to bother.
Yeah,
We're good.
Yay! We didn't need to take it off of this side.
Well, now we know we can.
Okay, we need to get this actually back in here and try to wiggle it out another way. Oh boy.
Well, we could always remove that piece, and then it should slide right out.
Yeah, that's
Still have that socket?
yeah. No, that part's not actually holding it up. It's actually the this right here.
Oh, well.
Just take this out. There we go. Well, close.
That's one crusty wheel cylinder.
I don't know, folks. Tell me what you think here. I'd say it's a little dry.
But it probably wasn't in bad shape when it was
in the
parked.
U.S. of A. Delco. I bet Delco doesn't say made in the USA anymore. Ooh, that's bad.
How old do you think that is?
1979.
I thought you might say
I
that.
think that's original. AC Delco, Delco parts. Yeah, I'd say
So,
that's original.
how do we get the parking brake cable out of here?
Does it come back through?
It does.
That's what that is the parking brake. Okay. Yay. That means there's no example of this on the other side. Yeah,
There is, actually.
What? Double parking brake?
It would appear so.
That's interesting. I think it just unscrews. Isn't that what it's doing? Yes, it is. Something's happening.
I could have just done that the whole time.
Well, it's kind of hard to tell. I think it's doing something. Oh, actually, no. See this right here? It's pinched in there.
Oh.
So it's really
So we should just be able to pinch it out of there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, this still had a tiny bit of fluid in it.
Did it really?
Yeah.
How about that, folks? 45-year-old fluid. Actually, I need the needle nose ones. Take right down there. Can you get those needle nose ones and pinch those tangs together right there? Maybe we can sneak it back through. I guess we'll save these brakes and kind of compare it to the new brakes and see if we really needed to remove these. I don't know.
They're pretty bad.
You think this right here with it coming apart just a little bit is a concern?
It depends on who you're asking.
I'm asking you.
I think so. Also, I just pulled this right out.
Maybe breaking this thing and that'll be okay.
I think that is what you're doing.
Well, like I said, I'm okay with that. So I can get it out of here. I don't think it's hurting the backing plate at all. Okay, spin it around. All right. Yep, it did. It broke right off. Look at that. Whew.
Basically, just pulled it right out.
Yeah. Okay, the hole itself is fine, no?
Yep.
So we don't have to do this, but what we're going to do is we're going to wire brush this, clean this up, and because on the truck that this is going on, we did a lot of work to clean up the undercarriage, and
I don't know what he's talking about. We're going to slap it on and send it.
he doesn't know anything about that because he didn't do it, but I did a lot of work to clean up the undercarriage, put a lot of POR 15 and stuff on that, and I want this one to look as good. Of course, when you put the brake drone in it, you're not going to see this. We're cleaning it up, folks. That's what we're doing. We're going to clean this up anyway because it's just how we do
these have got to be replaced. Look at that. That is flattened.
No. The other four are good. You know,
You
know what they say, 4 won't hold it, 5 never would. Actually, this one is flat in there too.
All in
And
the
that one is
same
flat.
spot.
But you know what? By the time you get the brake drum on, that's where the brake drum is resting. So we're going to test that first, and if the brake drum is resting there, then we're not replacing these studs. Because you know what happens if we do? We got to take this axle out. I don't want to take the axle out.
I mean, I don't either.
That's not what I want to do.
How were you planning on getting the bearings in it?
I'm not replacing the bearings.
What did you buy the bearings for?
Well, I've got the. If we needed to replace the bearings in there, then I had the bearing kit.
Oh, I see. In case they were
it
shot.
It looks so good in there. I'm not messing with that. And we hear nothing when we're spinning this around. The only thing I'm going to do is replace this seal because we know this seal leaks from this when you first got it, constantly leaking on the garage floor and then on the storage floor till it ran out of fluid. So we know the pinion seal needs to be replaced.
Aren't you glad I let most of the fluid out to begin with?
Yes, absolutely. You were thinking ahead, son. You were a visionary.
Surely
Okay.
by accident.
I don't know. I wish we could reattach that, don't you? No. All right, we're going to cut there, and then we are going
the cable
to
on the
find.
inside's in shockingly good shape.
Yeah, it's shiny. It's like new.
It's funny how that
That's
works.
a American steel, son. American steel. All right, we're going to get this cleaned up. We're going to paint this backing plate. We're going to find that bolt that was on the back of that wheel cylinder because I have a feeling we're going to need it. And we're going to keep all these other crusty parts because I'm not sure which one of those things we're going to need either. So,
Well,
all right.
I broke the retaining clip for the parking cable, so I hope you don't need that.
I'm going to keep that part in the video. Hey gang, we're done. It was just like that. You must have fallen asleep because we went from cleaning up the rust to it's ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, you want to show them the inside?
Oh, why is that loose? Well, we haven't bolted it in yet,
Oh,
right?
We got the new Bluetooth brakes here.
The Bluetooth brakes.
Check that out. Totally transparent.
It's a little late for April Fools, don't you think? I mean, it is June. But anyway, look at this, folks. Shiny newness. shiny newness. You know I love the shiny newness against the oldness. But we got this sandblasted, so to speak, or wire brushed, and as you can tell,
They're going to get you for that one.
Sandblasted wire brush. It needs sandblasting actually, but at least we got that cleaned up and it got quite a bit of crud off of there. Nothing else. I mean, with all that weight savings, we'll get probably 10 more miles to the gallon, I would think. Look at all this stuff right down in here. It's just come off. It's ridiculous how much, but it looks a lot better in there. There's a lot of buildup even back in here. And I know a lot of people like to just slam these things back together, but we're not trying to make this perfect, but we do want to get it all one color under there, and the color is not rust. It's going to be chassis black and everything, and get this cleaned up and give us the best chance of getting this all back together. All right, folks, so we have been, for the last few minutes, putting some metal prep rust inhibitor on rust neutralizer right here from POR 15. Again, not a paid sponsor, but hey, POR 15, we've used your products a lot, so if you want to sponsor this channel, you just let us know. But anyway, we've been putting this metal prep on here so that it will neutralize the rust before we start putting the POR paint on there. And we've got so much done, as you can tell, it's kind of dripping off that rust, and we've got this on here. And as Matthew just said, we could just leave this running. Instead of watching paint dry, you could watch metal prep solution dry, but we won't do that to you. We'll skip ahead to the next part. All right, folks, we just rinsed this off. That's one of the things you got to do after you're done putting on the metal prep solution.
Look how clean that is.
And look how good that's looking already. Got some nice, we can see the scrape marks real good there. And on this side, you can actually see some bare metal. So it was good to get that off of there.
Actually, you can see that the
All that-
backing plate is bent.
Be quiet. No, that's okay.
If you stand back
No,
here.
no, that's just look. Look, if you look closely.
This is bent pretty badly.
Ignore him, folks. He does not know what he's talking about. But anyway, there is you can see the pitting and everything where the axle was sitting down in the dirt for all those years. So that's not as good as it should be. And let me see. Is it really bent?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit. But we'll see once we get the brake drum on there. If we had to bend that back just a little bit, we'll do it. But overall, that's going to be good enough. And it is just a backing plate, not a big deal.
Probably because it was sitting on these for a long time.
Left off the other day, getting this side of the brakes off of this 12-bolt axle. We also hit it with some, after we cleaned it up, we hit it with some metal prep. As you can see, that's oxidized all the areas where we hit it with the metal prep. And so, while Matthew's gone, I'm going to go ahead and hit this with the first coat of semi-gloss chassis black from POR 15. All right, so we're getting started here with painting the axle. I tried to use some of my older POR 15. I was able to, it kind of cakes over at the top, hardens down at the top, and tried to break through it, which I did. In one can, it was nothing but jelly, and another, there was some in it, but it was separated and would not mix, and so it kind of went on almost like watercolor, so that's not going to work. So anyway, we had to open up a brand new can. I hate wasting that stuff. I try to seal it the best I can, but to no avail. If you don't use it after a while, it's just going to harden. There's just no way around it. I did come up with a new thing, though, that's out there, new to me anyway. Other people probably heard of it, but it's a thing called Bloxygen. It's an argon gas, which when you spray it inside the can and put the lid on it, it takes out the oxygen because it's lighter. The oxygen gets displaced. You close it up, and the POR 15 is not supposed to, or even any paint stains, things like that. It isn't just for POR 15, but it's supposed to keep it from hardening in the can. So just did that, and we will see if that keeps that from happening. Now, that's not this can. This is an old can of POR 15 that I just used to throw some POR 15 and then keep the part that I'm not using sealed up with that new Bloxygen argon gas. Again, not a paid sponsor, but Bloxygen, we're here if you want to do business. So we're going to go ahead and paint this. We're going to put the rest of this on time lapse, and then you can see what it looks like. I know no one wants to sit here and watch somebody apply POR 15 for 15-20 minutes. Alright, so we've skipped ahead a little bit here when it comes to redoing this axle. We have gotten one side of the brakes done, and trust me, we fumbled through this so much that you wouldn't have wanted to have us record it, unless of course all you like is a series of bloopers. But we did eventually get it all together. We've left the drum off of this side because we're going to use this as an example, now that we know that we've got it right, to put this side together. And as you can see, since the last time we've recorded anything, we went ahead and cleaned it up, finished cleaning it up. We remediated the rust. We put degreaser on it. We metal prepped it to oxidize all the rust. And we've got a coating, first coating of POR 15 chassis black on here. Again, not a sponsor, but POR, love to have you as a sponsor. We really believe in your products. And this is looking really good. Now, it's not totally done. I was painting on this last night, the night being irrelevant. I guess it was a Friday night. And of course, I've missed a few spots here or there. That's what happens when you do it at night and then you get in the daylight and you see where maybe you didn't get some of the coverage on it. But overall, really good coverage. The POR product spreads very well, almost like watercolor paints. It just is that good at coverage. So you can get a lot of coverage for a little bit. And we're going to finish touching it up today. And we're going to get this axle done once and for all. We're going to finish the brakes on this side. We're going to finish putting the diff cover back on here permanently. As you can see, we've got some newness hardware. We're missing a few of these shoulder flange type bolts in the diff cover. Didn't want to use just hex bolts on there. But we're going to take this off. We're going to also figure out the spline count on here so that we can put a locker in here and get 12 bolt positive action instead of one wheel peel. And we're also going to replace the pinion seal on here because this has been leaking on either our garage floor or our storage floor for the last 7 years. So we're going to get that all sealed up. Then again, get the locker in here, which of course we have to order, which means we won't get that done today, but we will get it ordered. And then once we get that locker in here, we'll seal this all up and it will be ready to go back on the truck. Can't say it'll be ready to go back on it. It'll be ready to go on it for the first time ever because it's got a 10 bolt in it now. And that was the reason why we got this 12 bolt. And we're also going to find out today what exactly is the gear ratio in here. So we'll find that out once we get the cover off, and you'll find out too. All right, next steps, we are going to put a layer of top coat chassis black paint from POR on this, because as POR, many of you know, you put the base coat on, and if you don't want it to fade at all, they want you to put a top coat on it, which we've done on most of the applications involving POR. So we're going to throw a coat of top coat on here. Say that 5 times real fast. We're going to throw a coat of top coat on here real quick in time lapse so you can see what we're doing. Alright, so that actually did not take as long as we thought. It's not a lot of area to cover in reality, but it goes on really smoothly, really quickly. As you can see, it's more of a satin finish than the chassis black that you paint on to begin with, the rust preventative coating. This is the top coating, but it gives it a nice dull sort of luster or satin luster, and we're going to let that dry. We may add another layer or two, but overall, this axle's factory new. Right, so we're going to attempt to put these brakes on. We went ahead and we got the emergency brake lever back on there. It was a matter of taking off this retainer clip right here. Hopefully you can see that. And then we slid the retainer pin. We cleaned this old lever up because that did not come. A new emergency brake lever did not come with that. So we cleaned this all up, buffed it out, slid the pin back through here, put the retainer clip on. There is a small washer. It's one of those that has the tension on it. I don't know, can't remember what you call that, but it's bent. It's a bent washer, so you can see it keeps separation here. So we are ready to start putting this on. So let's go ahead and get lined up here. So we're going to put that
You know,
on here.
I wonder if not having that on the other side could cause it to seize.
No, I don't think we got a problem there because you don't use it that often. So
That's what I worry about.
not going to try to come back to it. All right, so got to get that up on there.
Does
You know
it not go here?
Well, it does go right up against
Oh,
here.
wait,
You see
wait.
that?
Yeah,
We've gotta
this
get
is where the
that,
springs go.
Get that clip over there. Careful, don't hit the camera. Shake the audience.
What clip?
You know that wide wing that you buffed out? Move the brakes around, you'll see it. There you go.
That.
Yep. Call this a whatever, but it goes right on there. Keeps the brake up against there. So now what we got to do is we got to start fishing this stuff through here. We need the shorter ones. I think these are the two shorter ones. Get rid of these longer ones here. We need to start fishing that through the backside. Okay, take a look over there real quick. We're using the other side, folks, to kind of give us a comparison. Was there... Oh yeah, now I remember.
What?
This right here. Remember it goes through the backside of the brake?
Did you get that little red spring on there yet?
Not yet. I've got it though.
Okay.
Remember this? This has got to go through here, and then this goes on here. All right, there's our nail. I call it a nail because it looks like a nail. All right, so we've got to get that. And then, where's our spring? That's the red spring that goes down here at the bottom. Come with me. Oh, this is it right here. Sorry, this is it right here.
Is it?
Yep, goes right on over this. Yes, remember? Goes right over this. Okay, so you hold that in the backside.
Well, the retainer came out.
Did it?
Yep.
Okay.
You know what? That doesn't go back here. It goes here.
Ah, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Professor Pierce, for remembering that. Okay, now let's see. The other day I pushed this right on with my fingers on the front one. And then I just turned it. No, I'm not having as much success with that. But you can't let go.
Well, I didn't have my gloves on. You were hurting my finger.
Okay. Don't worry, folks. We'll edit all of this out when we're done. And
Yeah, we'll
it'll
make
look like
ourselves look like real professionals.
we'll look like we know what we're doing. But as you can tell, or we'll show you, we did get it put together on the other side. Okay, make sure that this link is getting in here correctly. Hope my fat head is not blocking all this. It's alright, it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be on there. Alright, we got to get it so the hole lines up with the way the retainer clip is, and then we'll be able to hold that still.
I'm trying, but
Try to hold it
you're
at the top.
taking forever.
You can't rush perfection.
No, but I can rush whatever this is.
Wow. My feelings are hurt.
I'm just as much a part of whatever this is as you.
That doesn't make me feel any better. You're supposed to be better.
Mm.
Okay, hold on. This is not working. It's got to basically stay right there to have this retainer pin centered as much as possible. Okay, you're gonna. I guess. Okay.
You want the old springs? They might be weaker.
Just get that. Help with that retainer.
Here, hold on. You
the
hold.
backside.
Let me see if I can press it on.
You know, the problem is getting it over it and then twisting it and not losing the tension is the problem. And sorry, folks, we are running the fan today. It's like 98 in the shade. So as you can tell from the beginning of this video, we started this in much cooler weather. We've had to stop, start, things like that. Now we're in the middle of summer doing this, which is exactly what I didn't want to do. Okay, let's try something else here.
Had it all the way on there and everything.
Yeah, I know. It's just twisting it and getting it to stay on there afterwards. So let me move this. I got to get under
Just
here.
saying, these are available.
Yeah, no. Not doing it.
I think they're about half a coil shorter.
Yeah, you're not kidding. All right, folks. We want to try this. Can you turn the retaining pin? There you go. Right there. Just leave it right there. Oh my gosh, it was on there and I went to twist it and lost it. Okay. Don't lose your cool, ladies and gentlemen. Walk away. Walk away from the camera. Okay, just keep that retaining pin in there. What in the world?
Well, you keep loosening it up.
No, I don't. The retaining pin's got to stay one direction or another. It cannot keep screwing around.
Okay, well, I couldn't feel where it was, so.
I know. Yeah, that's just not going to work. Screwdriver, or the screwdriver, yeah. The wrenches are just too big and get in the way. Okay. Go back to the needle nose pliers.
You're not lined up.
Well, the problem is we got this lip here with the bottom of the brake shoe too.
Come on. Oh, come on. Won't let me pass.
Alright,
Nope.
let me try it.
Nope. Finally.
Alright. He did it, folks. He did it. He did it. Good. It's on there. Wow. Alright, so now we just got to make sure this is up on here the way it's supposed to be. Because this is not where it's supposed to be at the moment. There we go. Rest right up in there, folks. Trust me, black on black. Alright. The emergency brake is loose, so that's good. Got to put that on there. This kind of holds the brakes in place till we get the springs on there. Alright. Woo! Hallelujah. Alright, so now we've got to, do we have it on it? Yeah, we do. Okay. Phew. Okay. So,
No, you don't.
oh, we don't. We forgot the actuator, folks. This actuator. Okay. Well, it was good practice.
We can't put it on there with it already installed.
No. This actually goes. What not to do, folks. Don't forget, get all the parts on. Alright, I think Matthew's walking off set to have a moment. He's going to have a drink. And I don't know, fortunately or unfortunately, it's not alcoholic. So.
Can't get it off now?
Oh yeah, it's going to come off. There we go. Look how easily that came off.
Unbelievable.
Alright, folks. So, got to put that washer right in there. Get it lined back up. Trust me, I'm lining it up.
Maybe we're supposed to use the longer pins with the longer springs.
Maybe that's what those are. You think those are longer springs?
Well, we know they're longer springs. But I'm probably more willing to use the originals than...
Do you think we're supposed to use a longer spring on the back and a shorter spring on the front? And that's why we have two greens? I don't know why we have 4 long pins, though. Yeah, we got 2 blue springs on this side.
To be fair, I think what we pulled out had 4.
Check over there, make sure both of those retainer pins are the same length.
I think this may be what we're dealing with right now.
Here, compare that to this.
It's the same. This one probably has a little less length to it because of being in there so long, but pins look the same length to me though.
Both the old pins are?
I said they look it.
Well, they either are or they aren't, because you can compare it to the longer ones and you can tell.
It is longer. Not by much, but
I wonder if you need the longer.
Might be just enough to make a
I bet
difference.
you need the longer one in the back to get all this together, you think? That may be why we're struggling like crazy.
Should we be taking apart that side to fix that, or?
Let's do this side and then let's consider that. Oh, this won't go. Oh, maybe this goes. No. Okay, so I guess that doesn't go on there. This definitely does. So if we use the longer pin, start putting this back together. Maybe we will. Is this the longer pin?
It is.
This back.
No, wait. Are you talking about this?
Yeah. Not there.
Can't feel a thing with these gloves on.
Right there. No, it doesn't help if you can't keep your finger on that. I'm trying to keep the emergency brake lever out of the way.
Boy, that's gonna be a bugger to put on right there.
Let's find out.
You're not.
Trying to turn
Weren't
it.
there? I tried to tell you.
I was there, and then I tried
You
to
weren't.
turn it.
You weren't quite there.
Okay.
Please just hold still. God. Oh my God. No, we're not ready.
Well, same as yesterday, folks, or 2 days ago, or whenever we did this. Same frustrating results. You literally have to be spot on and squared up with this thing, or it just wants to go a different direction. It's like a slinky. Yep, it's not going to do it. I'm going to use this other spring. It'll have to be good enough.
Well, everything has fallen off. Here, this is what came off of it.
All right, I'm going to go for vice grips this time. Get one less thing moving.
Told you everything fell apart.
Yeah, I can see that. Brake's gone too. Stay in there.
It didn't.
It's okay, I'm going to line it back up here in a second. What direction is that thing? Let's turn it. Put pressure on it. Boom. Now,
Well, you just jerked it out of place.
It's alright, we'll get it back up in there.
I'm not sure it can.
It will. The other springs that we got to put on there are going to lift that up into place. Okay. Alright, folks, so we got this actuator on here. Got this loaded. Oh boy, it's not on there by much.
Oh, what the hell?
It's hung up.
Pushing right against me.
Great, now we come off.
Okay, that should do it. Yeah.
Square?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, folks, so one of the things you're going to want to see up close here is you see the pin itself, retaining pin. It is perpendicular to the hole on this retaining clip. We had to twist and turn to get that all in there, so hopefully that'll stay.
You know, I wonder if we have that other one under so much pressure with that one spring. I wonder if it can. Actuate like that.
Well, we'll check it out. But next thing is to get this little red spring under here. This keeps the pressure, the buoyancy on the. See right here. When we say actuator, this is actually the self-adjuster. So when we have the adjustment rod in here, this is the self-adjuster that kind of wiggles back and forth and helps tighten up the brakes and keep them the right pressure for you on here. So self-actuator, adjustment, self-adjuster, it's at least in place now. So let's get back to putting this up here. This is sort of a retainer wing to keep the brake in place.
It's not in place yet.
It's not in place yet. There we go. It's closer now than it was. Okay, is that looking parallel?
It's going like this.
But this is more or less straight, right?
More or less, but
Okay.
It is at a downward angle.
All right, so now the next thing we've got to do,
Uh-huh.
so we've got to get the other brake shoe on, and then we can start doing all of our springs. Okay, so
How's that?
actually what we can do is we can take and put this on now. This will help keep this shoe up here the way it's supposed to. Check that alignment over here.
I'm just wondering if we have that under too much pressure. It's
Why?
basically got no spring left in it right here.
Well, you have to remember, see, this is already against that self-adjuster too.
As long as it can move.
Well, what you're saying is we got too much pressure on this spring.
I mean, as long as this can move, I don't care. Okay, well, it looks fine then.
All right, so we're going to get this hooked in here, hopefully.
You can just imagine your viewers yelling at us through the screen.
No, they would never do that.
No,
They're all good. All 564. Oh, here we go.
make sure to get in the comments and tell us how you would do it better.
Please. I can hear you saying now, no.
On my 69 Firebird, I did a great job in 20 minutes.
I'd never do it that way.
These new generation.
New generation? Maybe you. Looking at me like you're an idiot, never learned anything. Hey, watch your fingers.
Well, you're going to knock this
I
right
know,
off.
just watch your fingers.
Okay, I'll just take it off then.
Take your fingers off. You can't take that off because we need that on there. Bingo.
Nice.
Nice Chinesium tool there, folks.
This isn't lined up, is it?
Nope, not yet, but we're getting there.
Well, seems like it ought to be by now, shouldn't it?
Nope, not yet, because we got all the springs kind of work together. All right, so is that hooked in here?
I think so. Let me double check.
Yes, I believe so.
Yes.
Get that
So on
started.
the other side, it looked
Yeah,
like
there you
that.
Okay.
Ah, yep, that's it.
Whoa, keep the axle from turning on me. We're putting that much kind of pressure on it. Nope.
Maybe want to use that other side you were using before?
Yeah, it's not big enough for that.
I meant this.
What I'm gonna do is just use this. Lift that, yeah, get that back up. No, that spring isn't anywhere near long enough. That is not the right spring.
Yes, it is.
Okay, then how come?
It's
I
an
can't-
exact match for that.
No, something's
Yes.
not right.
Maybe because you're trying to take it to here and it goes here?
That's right. All right, folks. I'm trying to get it on this pin, and it only needs to go here. So I'm
They
trying.
know. They know already.
He didn't. Smart ass.
No,
He didn't know.
I'm just saying, you're going to look in your comments,
I know.
and there'll be people just screaming at you.
That's okay. Hey, it's better to be, loved or hated rather than be indifferent. So.
Okay, Dale Earnhardt.
That's right. Dale Earnhardt's the one that said that. He did say that. Rather be hated than not have any feeling at all.
Well, he had hated covered for sure.
And then Junior was saying, "You can't say that about my daddy. They all loved him." No, they didn't.
Right, he
Dale.
acts like Bristol in '99's the first time he ever heard anyone upset with him.
No, that's not true.
Oh, they never talked to him like that.
In fact,
before.
Dale, I know you'll never, Dale Jr. that is, I know you'll never see this video, but I was there at Talladega in '99 when you were a rookie, and your daddy was using the F word and cussing you up one side and down the other, couldn't figure out what the heck you were doing. I was listening to it on the scanner, and I'm like, dude, I can't believe anybody talk about their son like that. Anyone else there at Talladega in October of '99 heard that same thing? Oh, nope, that ain't gonna work. All right, here, maybe you can pull it. I'll try to hold it. You just got to get it to go there. Hold on before you do that. Let me get out of the way. All right, maybe we got to go the other way with the spring. Oh, you got it?
Mm-hmm.
Hallelujah. All right, folks. Now we're cooking with gas. All right, so one of the other things we got to get in here before we put this brake on. You need to hold that.
Okay.
You're looking at me, but you need to be holding that. Okay. Are we using the long one on this one?
I think we're using the short one.
So let me show you this here real quick. This is one of the retaining things that holds your spring in here. It goes into the brake shoe, like right down in here. Okay? And so we needed that to sit against the brake shoe over here, and in order to press the retaining pin through and then hold it on this side. And I believe that the kit only came with 3, and it was supposed to have 4 of these. We looked everywhere, and the one good thing that we did, the only thing that we threw out was an old wheel cylinder. But you can see over here we kept all of our old parts, because even though this kit said it came with everything that we needed, obviously we were missing one of these. And so we were frantically looking around for what we had. We also looked in the trash where we threw out the wheel cylinder earlier today. No retaining cup for the spring. So just happened to look in here, the parts that we did for the wheel on the other side, for the axle on the other side, and sure enough, one retaining clip left. Look how rusty all this stuff was, or is. And this was rusty too, and we just buffed it out. Good as new. Thank God we got this, or the brake repair, such as it is, would be over for today. I know from at least working on the other side, this side is not quite as hard to put on. So let me scoot you over this way just a little bit. Let me scoot myself in here. All right.
Got to make room for the star of the show.
Right, the brakes. The brakes. Okay, hold that up there. Just kind of hold it suspended in midair. Get the retaining pin coming through here. This has got to go on here. Okay, hold on. You hold that retaining pin. That's what I'm kind of worried about here. So,
isn't this one of the long ones?
Oh, that's right. Yep, we're going to use the shorter one on this side. So there we go. All right. So this time though, we got to get this in such a way that we capture that spring and we capture this link. There. We get it all right up against there. Now, is that pin coming through?
Yeah, I'm just searching for the opening there.
Okay. Hold the brake too. Alright, so there's a retaining cap. And
you need the blue one.
I've got it right here. Okay. Let me get my vice grips because that seemed to save the day last time. Alright, turn your pin 45-degree angle. Alright, that looks good right there. So, slide that on right there. Let's push that on right there. Turn. Oh, keep your pins turning.
Push harder.
I'm trying. Come on.
No, I don't think you're lined up. Hold on.
You got to keep your head out of the way because I can't see. All right, let me try to line up with where you are. Make a little adjustment again here. Kind of get this right on the edge.
Is this on backwards?
No.
You sure about that?
Why?
Isn't that supposed to be on the inside?
What is?
This.
No. Why?
You gonna check the other side? Oh, bent that.
That's bent. Yeah, it's facing in towards the dust shield, just like that one is.
What? No,
The
I
spring
mean
is.
this.
Yeah. Right here. It goes right on here.
You mean it's facing out?
What do you mean facing out?
This.
No. It's facing just like that towards...
Huh?
This is facing towards that. Go over there and look. You'll see.
No, that's okay.
Well, what's the problem? I mean, seriously, tell me now before we put this
I thought
together.
this was facing that way.
No. It was... You're talking about the spring being over here?
No, I thought this was on here like this. I thought this was facing that way.
Yeah.
What?
I was going with the spring being on sort of on the inside, but yep. Okay. I don't think it's really going to matter, but we'll do it. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Did you get another retaining pin since we bent that other one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You got one more shot at it.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, this fell out of there.
That's all right. We can wiggle it all back up in there. Just gotta get it. Hold on. Keep that link in there where it's supposed to be. That is where it's supposed to be. This.
Maybe we need to get some of the springs in first.
There. Just wasn't riding right. It was on
In
the
the
lip.
groove.
Yep, it was in the groove. Okay, so now we got to get this spring on there. So let me double check. I think it goes like this. Let me double check that side over there. Yep, that's what it does. Okay, so it's got to go in this hole. There we go.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to hold that spring. I'm going to try to do it this way this time.
Whoa.
Now, maybe I should use the retainer end of it, you think?
Wouldn't hurt.
Oh, it might hurt.
I hope not.
Boom.
Okay.
On there.
Why is this still not sitting right?
Because we got to get this part together. And we got this spring in the bottom. Kind of bring this part together.
Okay.
Creates the tension when we go like this.
All right.
So
So you need the adjuster now.
that's this one right here.
All right. Doesn't this need to go in first?
Yep. No, remember we did the spring and then kind of spread it apart last time and then got the adjuster in there? Because the spring sits behind the adjuster,
Okay.
which makes that very hard to do with it in there. So, one thing we know for sure is that it sits behind here. Okay, and then we got to bring it over to here. Now we can push in on this at that point, kind of bring it together to push. There we go. Come on, hook. Got it.
Ah. Yeah, that looks right now.
Okay, now we just got to get this in here. Okay, so this is going to go... Oh, wait a minute. Needed to put a little bit of stuff on there. All right, there we go. Man, it's so black. There we go. Now, oh,
That's as much as it's got.
Come on.
You're almost there.
Yeah. And so there, I missed. Boom.
Okay, that's complete, I think.
Yes. And it counts.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing we
30-minute job only took us 2 hours.
Shade tree mechanics, baby. Hacks are us. Now, final test, sort of, is that if it goes over it okay, then it must be okay, right?
Yeah, of course.
Look at that. Par excellence.
What an adventure.
Oh my gosh.
Every
Yes.
time.
Did I tell you that I like disc brakes?
You did.
I did. I did.
You also...
Actually, from a simplicity standpoint, it makes sense. But when you don't do this all the time, let me tell you, that can look a little overwhelming. But it's not if you just take your time, which we took a lot of time, obviously, and we'll clip a lot of this out just so you don't, well...
Yeah, this really only did take us 30 minutes, and
Right.
you'll never know otherwise.
That's right. We won't ever admit the truth. Well, the truth is whatever you see on the video. What happens off video stays
Yeah,
off
yeah.
video,
We
right?
did it in 15 minutes.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, now you're exaggerating a little bit. All right, folks. Well, it is what it is, and at least we got the brakes on both sides now. Let me show you. You know what? We were just talking for the last 5 minutes. I wasn't even recording.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, folks, we are close to getting done here. We've got this side, so you know if the drum fits, you must have quit. So we can assume that this works.
Nice O.J. Simpson reference.
Hey, you know it. No, just kidding. And it works on this side. And like I said, we're going to keep the drums off for now because we do not have the emergency brake cables in here. Those are still a part of the truck. So when we switch out the 10 bolt, we are going to then take out the emergency brake cables, snake them in here by leaving the drums off. Then we'll have an easier time hooking it to the emergency brake actuator or lever back in here. And then we'll throw the drums on. And we also have to do the pinion seal. So we'll take this tape off that we put on here to paint, make this axle look brandy new. And we also have a new diff cover gasket coming. We got a Spartan locker we're going to put in here. And that will give us 2-wheel appeal and positive traction all the time.
And remember, we're almost done, right?
There's a younger generation, folks, the younger generation. and we're going to put new seals in here. We got to looking at these, and they're a little crunchy in here, and we couldn't order seals without ordering bearings, so we'll probably change out the bearings too, but at least the seals. And then we'll be ready to snake this thing right under the truck. Matt said he could do that by himself in maybe half a day.
What, did I say that in my sleep or something?
No, but you did say it.
I do not remember this.
I remember it because I want to remember it.
Right, of course.
You said what I said you said, even if you didn't say it.
Okay.
All right, so that's it for now, but that's a good update. You stop spinning the tape around.
It's so fun.
All right, next time around, another update. And stay tuned to see more from me, Earl with an E.